examen hecho. Ayer me pegué 2 horas estudiando una lista interminable de vocabulario. Y en verdad, ¿para qué? Para vomitar la lista y que a los 5 minutos de terminar el examen ya se me haya olvidado. Es que no falla. I'm your host, Anna.
And I will be your English teacher.
A teacher who has decided to move away from the boring and absurd methods used in the schools and academies to teach English.
Instead, I have created a unique method that will truly help you learn English
without frustration. And finally, stop thinking that el inglés se me da mal. Take a deep breath and relax as we dive into this episode, which might just change how you think about learning English forever. Imagine this. You're sitting at your desk, staring at a long list of vocabulary words. You've probably been told that this is the way to improve your English. Memorize as many words as possible and you'll be fluent in no time. But let me ask you, how many of those words do you actually remember? How many do you use in your daily conversations? If you're like most people, the answer is not many.
I've been there,
says Chris, one of my students who recently shared their journey with me.
I'd spent hours studying lists of vocabulary, hoping that somehow all those words would stick in my brain.
Esperando que de alguna forma esas palabras se quedaran en mi cerebro.
But when it came time to speak, I'd freeze. I couldn't remember anything. It was like all my hard work was for nothing.
Does this sound familiar? The truth is, studying vocabulary lists is one of the most ineffective ways to learn a language. And today, I'm gonna tell you why, and more importantly, I'll share with you a better way to actually remember and to use new words. Number 1. Vocabulary lists are boring, and your brain knows it. Let's be honest. Staring at a list of random words is about as exciting as watching paint dry. Es tan aburrido como quedarte mirando cómo la pintura se seca. When you're bored, your brain switches off. It's not engaged. It's not interested. And finally, not retaining information. Language learning is supposed to be fun, dynamic, and engaging. When you focus on vocabulary lists, you're missing out on the magic of learning in context. Instead of memorizing lists, immerse yourself in the language. Watch a TV show, listen to a podcast, read a book, or an article in English. You'll encounter new words naturally, in a way that's engaging and memorable. You're more likely to remember the word adventure when you read it in an exciting story than when it's just sitting on a boring list. Number 2, you're not learning words in context. Imagine this. You learn the word run from a list. Simple, right? But then you hear someone say, I'm running late, or this car runs on electricity. And suddenly, that simple word feels complicated. That's because vocabulary lists don't teach you how words are used in real life. They are stripped of context. Están privados de contexto, leaving you to guess how to use them correctly. Learning words in context means you're not just memorizing, you're understanding how to use them in real situations. This is how language is supposed to be learned. Context helps your brain connect the dots. Hace que tu cerebro conecte los puntos, making it easier to recall and use words when you need them. Number 3, you forget what you don't use. Here's the kicker. He aquí lo impactante. If you don't use a word, you're going to forget it. It's that simple. Studies show that we remember things better when we're actively engaged with them. That's why using the language, speaking, writing, or even thinking in English is so much more effective than rote memorization, que la memorización por repetición. Start incorporating new words into your daily routine. Write sentences with them. Say them out loud. Use them in conversations. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel. Think of it like building a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Number 4, it kills your confidence. Nothing kills your confidence faster than feeling like you should know a word but can't remember it. Vocabulary lists can set unrealistic expectations. They make you feel like you should memorize hundreds of words in a short amount of time. But language isn't just about quantity, it's about quality. It's better to really know 20 words than to sort of know 100. When you focus on learning in context, you build confidence because you're not just memorizing, you're understanding. And when you understand, you're much more likely to remember and use the language confidently. Number 5, language is about connection, not perfection. At the end of the day, learning a language isn't about perfect grammar or knowing every word. It's about connecting with others, sharing ideas, and expressing yourself. Vocabulary lists can make you feel like you need to be perfect before you even start. But the truth is, you don't need to know every word to communicate effectively. Focus on learning phrases, expressions, and words that are relevant to your life and interests. Practice speaking with real people, whether it's in person, online, or even with yourself. The more you use a language in real contexts, the more comfortable and confident you'll become. Finally, the better way, learning through experience. So, if vocabulary lists aren't the answer, what is? It's simple. Learn through experience. Engage with the language in ways that are meaningful to you. Watch movies, listen to music, read articles on topics you enjoy, and most importantly, speak as much as possible. Use new words as soon as you learn them. Don't wait for the perfect moment. This September, I challenged you to ditch the list. Te reto a deshacerte de las listas and start learning English in a way that's natural, enjoyable, and effective. Let go of the pressure to be perfect and focus on connecting with the language. You'll be amazed at how much you can accomplish when you learn through experience. So, what's your first step? Maybe it's watching a new show in English or starting a conversation with a friend. Whatever it is, remember, you're not just learning words, you're learning to communicate. And that's what really matters. Let's take on this challenge together. Are you ready? So, thank you for joining me on this episode of Viviendo in Pizza English. I hope my story has inspired and motivated you to continue on your own English learning journey. Remember, we all face challenges and frustrations, but the important thing is to not give up and to find a way to enjoy the process. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with someone who might also find it useful. And of course, you can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok that you'll have on the description of this episode. See you soon and keep living in English. Have a nice day and don't forget to smile.